So you just arrived to Prague, but how do you get to the Prague city center from the main train station, bus station and the airport? In this video we are going to show you cheapest and most comfortable ways of how to get to the Prague city center from these three locations and talk about other helpful tips connected to taxis, public transports, tickets, all the helpful information that you need to know in order not to get fined or get lost. Let's start with the main train station because it is the easiest one as it is already located in Prague's city center. So if you're staying around here, all you need to do is to take down the escalators, walk through the hall and go outside. If you need to take Prague public transport to your accommodation, you can take a metro straight from the main train station. All you need to do again is just to go down the escalators from the platform and there you have it. So here's where the entrance to the metro is located. It is inside of the building of the train station. You can get a ticket through these yellow machines over there. You can also get it electronically via app and then you enter the metro through here. There's a white line on the floor. Don't forget to stamp your ticket before you cross that white line and just stamp it once, you guys, because otherwise the tickets will be invalid. You can also take a tram. You will have to go outside of the main train station. There are two tram stops nearby. One is right over here and one is down this street past the Jubilee Synagogue. All right, so here we are outside of the main building of the train station. If you go this way, this is one of the tram stops that I was talking about. It's located. Another one is down this way. Be very careful about cabs around the main train station. Not all of them charge you okay prices. It is always better to call an Uber or a Bolt. It will be kind of different with the Prague airport. We'll talk about it later, but they made it easier for tourists around the main train station. There are still a lot of these cabs that might overcharge you. So beware of that. Before we move to our next location, two things you need to know connected to the main train station. If you want to leave your luggage in the storage, there is a place to do that. It is located in the southern or the right part of the passageways that lead to the platforms, and it is cash only, as you can see, so don't forget to bring some cash. The park around the main train station is infamous for certain illegal activities that we cannot mention in this video. Just beware that people nicknamed it Sherwood Forest for a reason. By the way, if you're wondering, where's your umbrella, Valerie? It's raining. Don't you want to follow your advice? Well, it got stolen. So that's that. Now let's talk about the bus station. Most buses arrive here to the bus station, which is called Florence, but you can also sometimes arrive to the main train station, so please check your ticket ahead of time. But what about the Florence bus station? This one is also located very close to the city center. It's about 15-minute walk to Náměstí Republiky. But if you will need to take public transport to your accommodation, you can take metro from here and you can also take a tram. So let's now walk to the metro station. FYI, the closest metro entrance is under the reconstruction, so we have to go to the other one, which is slightly further away, but there are signs all the way there, so you won't miss it. And we will need this umbrella. I always get the extra umbrella in case I lose the first one or it gets stolen. All right, let's go. Ha! Here it is, right? I like it, it's very bright. Another thing is that at night there are few very interesting people that hang out here. Try not talking to them, okay? So normally this is where the metro entrance is, but as you can see now it is under a reconstruction. So all you have to do is walk down this way and the metro entrance is under that glass building over there. If you're staying in the old town or in the new town, you don't need to take any public transport because the medieval border to the city center is right over there where you can see that road. Now let's talk about Prague airport. Big chance if you're coming from the European country, you landed in the Terminal 2. If you're coming from other countries outside of Europe, you usually land in Terminal 1. There's also the third terminal, but this one is for private jets and for alien spaceships. So what is the cheapest and quickest way to get from here to Prague city center? That's of course Prague public transport. Before you use it though, you need to get a ticket. We spoke about getting tickets and how to use Prague public transport many times times in our previous videos, but when you are here, you can either get it in one of these yellow machines through the app called Litachka, just don't forget to activate it before you get on the bus, or you can also go to one of these info centers in the terminals. So once you get a ticket, you come out of the terminal and you go over here. Over here, we have a stop for trolley bus number 59. This is the trolley bus that you can get to Nadraží Veleslavín. This is the terminal stop where you need to get off. So now we are at Nadraží Veleslavín. This is the terminal stop for the trolley bus number 59. This is where you will get off, and then you have to go downstairs to take the metro. The problem is that I have these two very heavy luggages and there is no escalator here. Yes, they spent millions of crowns on building this metro station and they forgot to install the escalators. Just a couple million crowns mistake, oopsie daisy. But don't worry, because if you cross the road, over there they have the elevator. You see that with a green arrow? That's where you need to go if you need to get the elevator, if you have anything heavy with you. You will be using the same public transport ticket that you were using for the trolley bus. You don't need to validate it again. In fact, please don't validate it again because that will be invalid. The metro here is Green Line. This is very convenient because you can just take it to Malostranska, Staroměstská, Můstek, Museum, wherever you need to be. However, there are other ways of how you can get to the Prague city center from the airport. Quick tip for you guys, if you're planning to use Prague public transport, get yourself one of these free maps. You can get it at the info center of Prague public transport in the airport, and they are very handy. They have all of their important phone numbers, websites, operational hours of the Prague public transport with helpful tips, and of course maps. Yeah, you have a little city center map as well there. And they have also information about the luggages here. As we've mentioned, you have to get the ticket for your luggage if it's bigger than certain dimensions. So dimensions are 25 to 45 to 70 centimeters. But I thought it would be very helpful if we demonstrate it for you guys. So I have two luggages here. As you can guess, this one will be going for free. You don't have to pay anything for it. So if you just have a carry-on, this is about 50 centimeters tall, I believe, it can go for free. This bad boy is a little bit more complicated because, as you can see, it's pretty large. So let's find out if that fits our dimensions. I have very old measuring tape here. So we have 70 centimeters. This is 74. We are off to a good start. This is 26 centimeters. And 46 centimeters. What should I do with that? I would pay 20 crowns for that because that's technically bigger than what they allow. The question is if the ticket control will be running around with a measuring tape, measuring everyone's luggages. I would personally pay 20 crowns because guess what? Fine is 400 and it's lower to 200 if you pay it on the spot, but still 20 crowns is much cheaper, right? So what are the other options? There's also Prague Airport Express. It is a bus that goes straight from the Prague airport to the main train station and it leaves from somewhere here. Let's go find it, I guess. And we just missed it. So this was the Airport Express bus, you guys. It comes just twice an hour. Right now it's 3 p.m. The next one is at 3:30. So as you can see, this is not really, it's not perfect. The thing is that when you hear express, you normally think, oh, well, that's the quickest way of how I can get to or from the airport, but it's not exactly like it. I mean, on a good day when there are no jams, it takes around 40 minutes to get from the airport to the main train station. But sometimes when there are jams, it takes longer than that, so just bear that in mind. And another thing is that it only leaves twice an hour, right? So right now it's 3 p.m, so the next bus is in 30 minutes. This is not really that great if you mind spending 30 minutes waiting for the next bus. Also, it doesn't really make sense to take the airport express from the airport to the city center if you are not staying around the main train station, because this is the stop where you will arrive. So if your hotel is located in the lesser town, or let's say in Andel, Prague 5, it will be really far from you. So for you, it's better to take the first route that we've suggested and take the metro instead. I mean, we understand the logic behind it, because the airport express was more created for Czech people who live in the nearby towns and villages and need to use the airport. So they take the train to the main train station and then take the airport express to the airport. But for tourists who are just staying in Prague and not around the train station, doesn't really make sense. Plus, right now, there's a huge construction in the Prague airport, so they actually moved this stop. So it took us a long time to walk here from the terminal. Usually the stop is located somewhere over there. So yeah, if you're in a rush, I guess it makes more sense to take Prague public transport. The Airport Express will take you to Prague's main train station, a familiar location to you by now, and you will get off on the opposite side of the road. And voila, you will be in the city center already. But if you're thinking about taking the Airport Express from here to the airport, this is where the bus will leave from. It is a little bit harder to find. If you enter the main train station building, you have to go up the escalators. After you take the escalator over here, you need to go over there. And it has a sign, historical building of the train station, over there. And then you have to go out. This is where the bus stop is for the Airport Express. So what if you have a lot of heavy luggage, you don't want to take Prague public transport and you want to take a taxi instead? What do you do? Good news is that Uber is the official partner of Prague Airport, which means as soon as you land, you can find these self-service machines and call an Uber yourself. How does it work? You fill in your final destination, your email and your phone number. Then you pay and you receive an SMS with a special code. With that code, you come out of the terminal right here. Over there, you can see a special parking lot for Uber cabs. You give their employee the code and they assign you to the car. Very easy. So now you don't have to be afraid that you will get into a wrong cab and you will be charged a lot of money. There's still free roaming cabs, but they're all the way over there. We don't see them anymore. We checked and it costs around 600 crowns to get to the city center, so it is not a bad option. You might be wondering, what about Bolt? It is actually about 200 crowns cheaper to take a Bolt than an Uber, at least at the time when we were looking up their fares. And if you land in Terminal 2, you will have to go upstairs to another parking lot because the Bolt taxi will not stop here. So let's go there. Okay, so here we are. This is the upstairs parking lot of Terminal 2. So this is where the Bolt cab might tell you that they will arrive to. And just so you know, in Terminal 1, there's no upper floor. So if you land in Terminal 1, you don't have to go upstairs anywhere. And finally, we have the luxury tier for you, and that is the classic pickup from the airport with transport, with a driver who speaks English, helps you, meets you at the arrivals gate with a little board so you can feel like a celebrity when you arrive to Prague. This is also great if you are a big group of people with a lot of luggage and you're afraid that it will be too much of a hassle to take Prague public transport or order like 8 Ubers. You can call Prague Transport instead. They have a lot of cars you can pick from. They have 2 minibuses for just 80 euros. So if you're a big group of people, this is like a saving grace price for you. We will link them in the description box. This is not a promotion. We are not paid by them. We just like their service and we thought we will link them below. Okay, and as I promised, I will show you guys what's inside of these luggages. I kind of lied a little bit. I'm only going to show you the big one because inside of this one, it's not even my stuff. It's the stuff of our friend. He has a hammock inside of this luggage, yeah? So I'm not gonna unwrap the whole hammock, but just, you'll have to trust me on that one. But this is a little bit funnier. I hope you're ready. You're never gonna guess what's inside. It's puzzles. I'm not joking. It's puzzles. Yeah, some game also. And here, more puzzles. Literally. Just puzzles. You might not know this about me. I am obsessed with puzzles. obsessed. This is my favorite series called Funky Zoo. I am 30 years old, by the way. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. As you can see, I have a lot to do, a lot of puzzles to assemble. Bye!